Hi guys, I'm Tiggy Tattoos, and this is my shop, Mount Moon Tattoo, and we're based in Gloucester. Today we're doing a tutorial on how to tattoo a video game character, and we've chosen Princess Peach. I'm just prepping the skin now with Electrum Skin Prep, which is an alcohol spray, and I use it to clean the skin of oils and any germs, anything that's going to be sitting on top of the skin. Now that the skin is clean, I can use the Stencil primer. I use the Electrum Stencil primer, and this is just to create a tacky base for the stencil to stick to. So this is my second attempt of putting the stencil on, which is why the stencil looks like that. Just making sure all the bits are sticking down. I'm not too worried about the wrinkles in it. It doesn't seem to affect it too badly. I like to press it down to make sure it's really stuck on. There's a little bit around there where I want to stick a bit more primer on, where her foot comes round. I like to wait for a few seconds before I peel the stencil off as well. Just feel like it sticks on better that way. So right now we're going to start doing the lining. I use Dynamic Triple Black ink, and I have a Magic Moon cartridge, which is a 5 round liner. So I like to start off on the inside of these really fat lines with my 5 liner, and then later on I might go around the outer perimeter with the 5 again and then fill in the inside. But sometimes I use a round shader. We'll see when we get there. Okay, so now the inside one is done, I'm going to go around the outer edge with the same 5 round liner. I guess if I feel like the stencil is stuck on quite well, which it seems to be because we gave it quite a long wait before starting, I don't feel too worried about wiping. I would dab it if the stencil is starting to come off and I was feeling a little bit more cautious. So I've done the outside and the inside lines here, and using the same 5 round liner, I'm actually going to colour them in like this. Now, I could use the round shader, but the 5 liner is fine because it's only a small area and it covers it quite well. The voltage that I use for lining is usually around 7. Yeah, the voltage is just a personal preference because you have to match it to your hand speed. So I've changed to a 3 round liner now. It's the bug pin one, so I want a nice thin line, and I'm using colour to outline this little pixel here because it's just going to be coloured in with this colour, and I want to get it in before I lose the stencil. So I'm not actually pressing too hard for this because I don't want to line it fully, I just want it to not disappear before I get to it. I've been using World Famous Precious Gem for this one. So I've changed colour again to World Famous Azalea for this pixel. I've changed colour again. I'm using the brand Fusion, and it's Cool Mint. Another colour change, this is world famous Purple Kush. I will colour pack these pixels later on after I've done all the black line work. I will probably use a small mag to do it, but we'll see. Last colour change, we're still using the 3 round liner, and this one is Fusion Magenta. So I'm back on the 5 round liner with my dynamic triple black, and I'm going to be doing most of the lines with this until I get to another bit that needs colour. So we have another really chunky bold line here where I'm going to line both sides with my 5 round liner, and then I'm going to colour in the middle. So I'm just filling in the lines, just colouring inside them with my 5 round liner. I've changed to a 9 round shader now, and I'm just going to go around the perimeter of these lines here because I want them to be thicker. I'm using a 9 shader because I feel like it is the easiest one to get a nice smooth result. I'll switch back to the 5 round liner again to do this little bit here. I like to chop and change quite a lot because I get bored using the same liner for too long. I used to use Cheyenne for like 8 years, but I randomly decided to try out the Magic Moon ones because the name matched with the name of our shop, Mount Moon Tattoo. And then I just found that I really liked them, so I've switched to Magic Moon now. My favourite needles to use are the 5 round liner, the 3 round liner, the bug pin one because it's smaller, 9 round shader, 11 mag, 13 mag and 15 mag, and I just use some combination of these for every tattoo that I do. So I use an inkjector. It's the Flight Nano. I've been using inkjector a long time. Again, I've tried loads of other machines, pen ones, all rotaries, but I always come back to the inkjector because I like the way it feels in my hand. It's not too heavy to hold, and it does have a lot of settings with changing the bar in it to change the way it hits and all of that. But I kind of keep it on the standard setting because it just works for everything that I do. It works for the lines and the colour, and I don't have to change my machine. Right, so I've switched back to the 3 round liner because I want to do these really tiny details on the face. So I've changed back to my 5 round liner to finish off these lines. Changed colour to do the outline of this star. I'm still using a 5 round liner, but the colour I've changed to is Extreme Raspberry. I'm doing the boulder line in this raspberry colour, and I will be colouring the inside, colour packing it with a lighter pink. I've changed back to the 3 round liner to do the final small details on the frill of the dress. The stencils actually come off a little bit, but with these little details it doesn't matter too much. I can just put them where it feels right. Right now I'm using world famous Purple Kush, and it's the 3 round liner. And I'm just making the line to keep the stencil there for when I come back to colour it in later. This colour is Fusion Magenta. And this colour is Fusion again in Cool Mint. I've switched to a 9 round shader just to thicken up some lines that I feel need to be thicker. So we like contrast between the lines. I think on video game character tattoos, the contrast between the line thicknesses is quite important because it adds interest to the piece, and it can make it look more dynamic. So on this line here, I'm just gonna go along the edge there, and then towards the end so it tapers off, I just lift the needle. I do that so it's not thick all the way to the end of the line. It's got that nice little taper there. So now we are going to start colour packing. I'm using a Magic Moon needle. This is an 11 mag, and I'm just going to start with black because we don't want to have it mixing into other colours. So I like to get that done first. So I prefer colour packing on this piece to shading because I don't want too much shadow in the different areas. I want the colours to stay really bright and clean, and this is just my preferred way of doing it. For this bit here, I'm using a circular motion just to keep it all packed in tightly, but then you can see on the edge here I've almost like feathered it out a bit by doing this sort of back and forth motion because I'm gonna colour this bit in lighter after, but I'm leaving that for now. I use the same machine for lining, shading and colour packing. I don't tend to change the settings. The only thing I might change is the voltage, but at the moment I've still got it on 7 because I just don't need it higher right now. So I've dipped my needle into pretty purple. I already still had some black in the needle, which is why we've got this grey colour. I don't pre-mix my colours, I just dip into the pots as I go, and I like watching them change. It's quite a chaotic way of doing it, but it works for me. So this bullet bill here, it doesn't look like it, but I have used about 4 different colours. To the eye it does just look like this purple and then this dark bit, but to create this exact one that I was going for, I did mix a bunch of colours together. So when I'm choosing colours, I don't try and match to the colours that are showing on my iPad, because the whiteness of the screen, you just can't emulate it on the skin anyway. I don't like to get hung up on the exact colours that I'm looking at in my design and the colours that are going to be in the tattoo. I prefer to just look at the inks I've set out in my little pots and then choose more intuitively. So I'm filling in the pixels now. I'm still using my 11 mag, and I am using single colours to fill these in. This one is the world famous Precious Gem. This colour here is world famous Purple Kush. I've just switched colour to Eternal Electric Raspberry for her shoes. I'm not mixing any colours here right now, I'm just using a solid colour. So I'm doing sort of tight little circles because I want to colour pack it quite solidly, and doing the small circles means it goes in quicker and I don't have to go over it multiple times. So halfway through using that other colour, even though I said I wasn't going to mix colours, I changed my mind and I've decided that I wanted to add this fusion magenta colour to the end of the shoe. I'm moving on to the bottom of the dress now, so I'm using Fusion in the shade Magenta for this nice deep pink, and I'm just doing circular motions to colour it in and pack it as quickly and efficiently as possible. When I'm close to the edge of another line, I do even smaller little circles just to try and pack it as close to the line as I can and make it more precise without overlapping the line that I've done. I'm still using the 11 mag of the Magic Moon cartridges. It's quite good for smaller areas. I'm using a lighter pink now. This is world famous strawberry. So I'm using the world famous strawberry to block in some lighter areas on this band at the bottom of the dress. I'm not blending it in. I just want to use these shapes to add dimension to the bottom of the dress. Sometimes I like to line things with my mag instead of a liner, like this, to get shapes in colour. I feel like it's softer than having a full line with a liner needle. And I want it to blend nicely next to the lighter colour that's going to go next to it without having a sort of hard line. So yeah, I use the mag to do that. This colour is a mix of world famous strawberry and fusion magenta. I've just dipped my needle into both pots to make the mix inside my needle. I'd say I mix a good 80 to 90% of my colours on the go, so I'm never really using the same colour from tattoo to tattoo, which is kind of nice because everyone gets a new colour made just for them on the fly. Yeah, sometimes I don't really wash my needle in between colours, and I'll go for ages without having washed it at all, and the colours just kind of blend from one into the next, and I just keep using whatever colour I've created until I don't like it anymore, and then eventually I'll wash it. Or if I need to wildly change the colour, so if I'm going from pink to blue, then yeah, I need to clean the needle through and start again. But yeah, when working with similar colours, I just let it naturally go from one to the other. So instead of diluting my colours with water, I like to mix them with white or a lighter version of the colour to fade them out into, you know, lighter colours. I don't enjoy the mixing it with water because I'm not sure it's going to heal quite right, or it might fade over time. And I want the colours to stay really strong. So we're on a lighter pink now. This is Fusion Bubblegum Pink, and this colour makes its way into almost every tattoo that I do. It's one of my favourite colours. I do like a good pastel pink. Doing the little blue gem on her dress, and I'm using a 5-round liner to do the darker shade of the blue. I just want to keep it quite precise. That's why I'm using the liner. I'm using a liner because it's like a tighter needle than a shader, and I can do really, really small areas with it and keep it really precise. This is world famous Donatello blue. This is Fusion Cool Mint. I'm using it for the lighter shade of blue, and it is my favourite shade of blue/teal. I'm using world famous strawberry to do this little gemstone on her crown. Still using the 5-round liner. And then this little highlight is in Fusion Bubblegum. I've switched back to the 11 mag, and this is world famous Cleopatra Copper. So I've switched to world famous Titania for the lighter yellow in her hair. I'm just colouring in this little section here using my 11 mag. I have Hibby scrub and water in here, and then whenever the tattoo gets quite mucky, like lots of ink everywhere or blood as you can see, then I use this to wipe it away. And it just cleans it all up, makes it easier to see, and then we can continue. I'm starting to do the skin colour. I've mixed my own colours with intense flesh pot and also a tiny bit of the world famous strawberry. And I just wanted the flesh pot to have a slightly pinker tone, which is why I added the strawberry. I've changed the colour now to world famous Fair Peach to do the lighter colour on her legs. The white I use to lighten the colours is Eternal Ink White Night. I think it is very important to have solid, vibrant colours in game tattoos because the characters themselves are bright and vibrant, larger than life, and we want to make them look as dynamic and exciting to look at as possible. So matching the colours to the actual characters to keep them true to their original is quite easy. But I personally like to add my own favourite colour combos in to just give it a bit more interest. Pinks, blues, purples all make their way in there. I find that I just look at the colours that I have on my shelf and I see what I have and I try and think about what ones I'm going to mix together, but it doesn't matter hugely. I just think as long as it looks nice in the skin at the end, and you know that Peach's dress is pink, And it might not be the exact pink because I've used tons of different pinks here, but overall when you stand back and look at it, it looks like the right pink, but I've just done what felt right at the time. So for this bit I'm using the 9 round shader to fill in the little bit of yellow around the gem. Yeah, so now we've finished the tattoo and we're just going to leave it for a few minutes to stop bleeding, and hopefully some of this redness will go away and then we can get some nice photos. So the tattoo is dry now, the redness has gone down a little bit, but sometimes it's not possible for all of it to go. So I'm going to take some photos before the client goes home, and that's it. So my aftercare is quite detailed. I've got a document on my website, but I typically will wrap my client in cling film to go home with. I don't put anything else on, just cling film, and then they'll be using cocoa butter throughout the healing process. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.